Well, hello everyone. Welcome to our preview of the Browns game Sunday in Jacksonville against those winless Jaguars. We all know what that means. You have to be extra careful. Remember what happened last year when they played the Jaguars?
Yeah, that was a really tough loss, a last-minute loss, a game where well, I thought the highlight offensive play of the season, Josh Gordon going 95 yards on the run late in the game. You're thinking, this game's won. And then Chad Henne drives him back. Local boy Cecil Short scores the game-winning touchdown in the final 40 seconds of the game to beat the Browns.
Of course, he scored that touchdown over Joe Hayden. We talked to Joe Hayden about that today, and he said he doesn't really want to remember that play. He's a cornerback, and he has to forget about those things. But he, of course, praised Cecil Shorts, a local product, and so did everyone else in the locker room. They're all calling him the most underrated, one of the most underrated wide receivers in the NFL.
Yeah, and I think he has like 16 catches already this season. It's not a bad little receiving core. And of course, obviously, we'll get to them in a second with Blake Bortles as a quarterback. So, you know, they're going to have to be ready for those guys.
Well, let's talk about Blake Bortles. They are playing a rookie quarterback, one that was picked number 3 overall. Mike Pettin told us yesterday he didn't even consider him at number 4. He didn't consider any quarterback really at number 4 overall, but the Jaguars sure did. They picked him number 3. He's been starting the last 3 games. He's throwing the ball a ton. He has more completions than almost anybody else in the NFL, except for, I think, Andrew Luck at this point. And he's starting to heat up. And you know what? They've got to be careful against this rookie quarterback.
Yeah, I think his completion, I think he's got a 67% completion percentage, I think. But he's also thrown some interceptions too. And then, of course, that comes with rookie quarterbacks. You know how it is, Mary Kay.
That's right. He's got 7 interceptions already this season in his short time as the starter. But they're very, very excited about him. And again, he's getting the ball to Cecil Shorts, and they're starting to give him more and more in the game plan. So the Browns are going to have to get to him. They're going to have to disrupt him. They're going to have to try to get him off his mark. And by all means, they're going to have to try to pick him off. That's the key. That's one of the keys to this game. These guys also have tons of sacks. I believe they're second in the NFL with 19 sacks, and the Browns are looking at a makeshift offensive line with John Greco moving over to center, Paul McQuiston at guard. 19 sacks. Yeah,
it is going to be a big test for those guys. You know, they were obviously able to get away with it for 3 quarters after Alex Mack went out. But, you know, a team now has some film on this group together. It's going to be a real tough assignment for these guys.
And you know what Mike Pettin is? He knows that this can be that trap kind of game. They've been preaching it all week. They can't take this team lightly. Everyone in the locker room is talking about the fact that the Jaguars are probably looking at the Browns as a team that they can beat. Even though, of course, they see how well they're playing. They see that they're scoring a ton of points. The Jaguars are still probably looking at this as a home game that they can win.
Yeah, well, there's no question. You know, it's still, and the Browns know this. There's still teams that look at them as it's just the same old Browns. It's again, it's probably one of these games where both teams thinking low-hanging fruit. Here's a chance for us to win. Here's a chance for us to get better. The Browns are proving that they're not that team anymore, but that stigma's still around the league. You know it.
And they'll stick with their formula, which is run the ball and pound it, cram it down the opponent's throat. They rushed for 158 yards against the Steelers last week. That's how they set up their play action. They're getting guys running open, free, based on pulling people in from the run. And the Jaguars, they use an 8-man front. They will be ready for the run.
Yeah, and again, Gus Bradley from the Seattle organization, they like to try to stop the run first and take you out of your game. So this is going to be a good challenge, again, not only for that offensive line, but these running backs to see if they can keep it going.
Well, Brian Hoyer only completed 8 passes in that victory over the Steelers. He's probably going to complete more this game. They'll probably win the game in a little bit different fashion, but I still think they're going to win the game. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. My biggest question, Mary Kay, is where are you going to be covering this game from? The press box or at the pool deck? Right there in the stadium.
Oh, yes. We hear it's going to be about 82 degrees, so that'll be good for us, but not too sure about the players because they're not used to playing in that. So we shall see how it all goes down in Jacksonville, and we'll have it all right here for you on cleveland.com.